Hello everybody and welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm Deborah Hatswell and you're listening to BBR Investigations. Now, regular listeners will know that in the UK, not only do we listen to podcasts, I also go out and meet with other members and investigators as often as we can so that we can share stuff and get to know each other. Our last time I was out, we were in Harrogate at the wonderful Scar House Reservoir there. And it was an ordinary day. We had a good day. We're driving home. One of our members had a very strange experience. Anyone who tunes into our bi-weekly live feeds will know Deborah Singleton. She's my co-host. And she was driving home with one of the ladies that attended the meet. But I'll let you explain it in her own words. She said, I saw nothing but her mouth, which was a stretched out black void in her face. Deborah Singleton. I was travelling home from the Scar House Reservoir BBR meeting that was held on the 28th of August 2021. I was with my friend and fellow member Carol Harris. The time would have been approaching 7:45 as I turned onto the road that passes by the end of the runway of the Leeds Bradford Airport. Now this area is quite far from any housing. It's pretty rural, though there was warm and sunny and conditions were clear. Up to this point, it had been a very normal day. I realised up ahead, walking on the path to the left, was what I thought was a teenage girl in her late teens. She was very tall and slim, with long dark hair, and it was way past shoulder length. The first thing I noticed was her outfit. She was wearing what I would describe as a shorts play suit. It was made of a floaty cotton material that had a floral print. She was wearing a short denim jacket over the top of it, and I didn't notice her footwear. She was no different to every other teenage girl out there that you pass on the street or when you're driving. The next thing that I noticed as I got closer was that her skin was very white. Her face and legs were very, very white. Not the skin colour white, but unnaturally white, like alabaster. And as we drew nearly level with her, I looked at her face, or what should have been her face. I saw no features, nothing but her mouth, which was stretched out, a black void in her face. It reminded me of that game you play, where you place a plastic piece within your mouth and it stretches it, and you have to try and speak and people have to guess what you're saying. It wasn't a game and it wasn't funny. This was her mouth shape, without the plastic. A huge black horizontal oblong void. Carol saw something completely different to me, but we both had the same feeling afterwards, that something hadn't been right with the whole scene. It gave us both the goosebumps. I never thought to look in the rearview mirror, to be honest. I wish I had now. I was just so horrified by what I'd seen. Deb said, what Carol describes is very different to my experience. Carol stated, the more I think about it, I didn't see a girl. I saw a figure and some sort of white flash, a dark hood, and just an empty darkness where the face should have been. Although it just makes sense to me why we both saw things differently. I think I saw the energy of the thing, the darkness. Deb saw what it wants everyone to see, what it projects. Does that make sense? Well, it makes perfect sense to me. I have no name to call them, but for myself, I call them energy feeders. A dark, empty being that will appear in the most terrifying way to feed on the fear of its victim. They're not choosy when looking for a host. They'll take any age. They will appear in a way that will entice you. And when you're truly enthralled, they will drain you of your very essence. Now, the Japanese have a name, Nopparabo, and it means a faceless ghost. It's a Japanese yokai, and it can look like a human, but it has no face. Such creatures were thought to sometimes transform themselves in order to frighten humans as much as possible. They appear at first as ordinary human beings, sometimes impersonating someone familiar to the victim, like a friend or a family member, before causing their features to disappear, leaving a blank, smooth sheet of skin where their face should be. And some are said to have gaping black mouths. Now, there are reports like this across the globe, each country having a variation, but the central details are the same: an entity or being that appears in a way to entice you, and then its true self is revealed.